Yo, what's up guys? This is Theo here. I wanted to make a quick tutorial for you guys on how to build a quick ExpressJS API. So let's go ahead and do some of the dirty work. So let's get to it. So I'm going to change directory on my desktop. I'm going to make a directory called Express API. I'm going to change directory into there, and all I really need for this interface is just a server. So I'm going to add that JavaScript file, and I also want a package.json, and we vim into there, and just so we have some JSON, and cool. So I also want it to install Mongoose and Express. We're going to save our users to the database, and so it's going to fetch these packages from the registry, and then I'm going to open it up here with Visual Studio Code in just 1 second. Awesome. So if we look in our package.json, see what we have, it is still empty because I did not do -- save. Let's try that one more time. Alright, so cool. Let's try that one more time. And there we go. We've got our dependencies in there. So let's go ahead and open this up with code. So code is now opening up for us. And awesome. Cool. So I'm going to bring this off to the side here. Okay, so next up, we can sort of build out our server, the interface. So I'm going to do let express equals require a new copy of express, and that's in our node modules folder right here in Express. Okay, cool. And so let's go ahead and build out the rest. I'm going to get an instance of Mongoose, which is an object document mapper for MongoDB. And create our app and say Express to invoke that. I'm also going to build a quick model right here. So I'm going to say let model equals mongoose.model user, that's what I'm going to call it, and it's going to be a new mongoose.schema. Okay, and it's going to take in a quick configuration of name, which is going to be of type string. Okay, and it's also going to have an age. It's going to be type number. We need to do a few other things. We need to create a DB connection string. So we're going to say MongoDB localhost 27017, because that's the port Mongo listens on, the server for Mongo. It's going to be listening for connections on there. And I'm just going to call it Express API. Okay, all right. And so next up, we got to actually connect to our database. So I'm going to do mongoose.connect. And we're going to pass a DB. And then the second function is an error. And then the DB actually hook that we're going to have. We'll say if there's an error connecting to the database, let's just return the error. Else, let's go ahead and do db.users.find function error or users. Let's just log out the users. So we'll just do if error, return error, also log users. All right. So once it connects to the database, we're going to sort of see the users that we have. All right. Next up, let's go ahead and listen. And we want to create a constant as well for this port. I'm going to set that equal to the process.environment.port that Node.js provides us as a global or 3000. So in this case, because we're not running our application in development mode or production rather, it's going to default to 3000. So with that, we have our Express server configured. We'll say listening on port plus port, and we need to do one more thing. We need to actually create a router. So I'm going to say let router equal to express.router, and I'm going to have the app use the router, app.use, when it hits an API, and then a route. Okay, so let's go ahead and build out a route. So I'm going to do router.get /users function request, response, and next. So we're going to say, we're going to use our model, okay, that we, well, let me bring this up here. Okay, so we're going to use this model that we created to query documents from our document store. So I'm going to do model, okay, dot find, and the predicate is going to be all function error and documents. So we're going to say if there's an error, let's go ahead and return with a response.status of 404. Let's go ahead and send that error to the user. Otherwise, we're just going to return with a response status with a 200, and we're going to go ahead and send the documents. Okay, so code has formatted it for us nicely, and let's go ahead and run this. So in order to run this, I want to bring up Mongod, and I want to show you guys real quick so you're not confused where these users are coming from. I already created this database. Do show DBs, and we're going to use Express API. Okay, and let me just clear that out. And I'm going to do show collections, and we have users. So I'm going to do db.users.find.pretty, and I can show you guys we do have users in our database. Cool. All right. So once we have that up and running, I'm going to actually start our server. So I'm going to do nodemon server.js. And what is wrong? Cannot read property of users of undefined. Okay. db.users. Actually, let's just do this. Let me see. Log db. Let me run this. Undefined. I don't know why it's giving us back a deep undefined, but okay. If error, return error console.log. Maybe I'm thinking of MongoDB, the client. So we're going to do successfully connected to DB. Actually, you know what? I can do this. If there's not an error, I can, run this route right here just to show you guys we are getting our users. So let me do this and put that code in there. And it's running. Response is not defined. Model.find function error return. Return error and return the documents. Okay. And right. Let's try this one more time. So it's listening and it's not returning the document. Let me go ahead and console.log the documents. Make sure we're getting them. Okay. Okay, so cool. We are getting our documents. Awesome. So I'm going to take that out of there now. I just wanted to make sure we were getting our data. So I'm going to go ahead and console.log successfully made a connection to plus DB. Let's run this again. Starting successfully made a connection to MongoDB localhost to 27017 Express API. So let's go ahead and build out a few of our routes. So here's our users route. So I'm going to go ahead and bring over localhost for us and sort of show you guys what's going on. So I'm going to go here and go to /API/users and see what we get. Cool. So we get our sort of, let me make this screen a little smaller and I'll bring it over. Okay. So we get our users that we have in our database. Cool. So let's go ahead and build out another route, a singular user. We're going to do /users/ID, where the ID is going to represent the object ID provided by Mongo, and response and next. Okay, and then so what we can do here is we're going to make sure, we're just going to say, well, I guess it would only hit the route. So what we can do model, and in this case, we want to actually do .find by ID. Do model .find by ID, because we're going to find by ID, and it's going to be request.params.id. And the second argument is going to be a function with an error in a document. And we're going to say if there is an error, then just return we're going to return response.status 44 send error. Otherwise, there's no error, but we need to check if there's a user. So we're going to say if not user, return response.status 44.send. We're going to send this object with a message. No user exists with this ID. And otherwise, if we have found the user, we're going to go ahead and return response.status 200. And we're going to go ahead and send the document that we found. Let's go ahead and try this route out. So I'm going to try it with one of my IDs. Okay, so let's do users. Okay, so let me see, user is not defined. Sorry, if not document. Okay, so let's try and hit this route. Okay, so it does work, but let's say we give it the wrong ID, then we get that message, no user exists with this ID. Cool. Okay, cool. So we built those routes out. I also want to create a, I'm going to just create a, query string, but I think we're going to need one more thing. We're going to need body parser in here to complete our API. So I'm going to do body parser -- save, and then let me just bring this in here. Do let body parser. It's going to parse the JSON that we get from the form body that we send, or in this case, the query string. Acquire body parser, and I need to configure some of this middleware. So I'm going to do app.use body parser.json, so we're parsing JSON. And I'm also going to do app.use body parser.url encoded. In this case, because I am passing it with a query string, I'm going to set that to true. All right, so let's go ahead and run our server again, and let's go ahead and build out our post route. So I'm going to build this right above here. So I'm going to do router.post to /users function request response and next. And let's just log out the request.body that we're actually getting. I'm going to do this, try and do this in the query string of the URL. So what I can do here is I'm posting to, actually I guess I'll probably have to use Postman for this. So I'm going to bring in Postman, and actually let me see. Let me get this configured real quick. Let me sign in on my other screen, and then I'll bring this up. Let me just get it, Postman app, and then I'll show you guys in 1 second. Install it, Chrome app, and make sure we got it. And I'm launching it. 1 second, guys. Alright, so I got it down here. Got Postman, and this is going to allow us to make some HTTP requests. Okay, so let me take this off our screen real quick. It looks like Postman's loading for us. So let's wait till that's up and ready. Okay, so we got Postman. We want to make a post to API/users, and we need the content type to application JSON and the body. Okay, we don't need any of that stuff, but we do want to have a key of the name of tester and an age of 35. Let's go ahead and run this. So let me see my iTerm again. iTerm. Let's go ahead and try and send this. So it's sending. Loading. Okay, yeah, we are getting it. So let me try this. Send to testers. Testers, and let me cancel this request. Let me try and send it to testers. Okay, there. All right. So Postman is successfully. I don't think I do need that. I don't think I need to wrap it in that. Let me cancel this and try one more time. All right, cool. So we're getting our request.body, and again, if we don't have any of this, we should not be able to technically see our request.body. So check this out. So now I'm going to try it with testers, undefined, because we don't have any middleware to parse the body. So what we want to do, we've gotten the request.body. We actually want to save it. So what we can do is we can do var data equals request dot body, and we can do var user equals a new model. We're just going to pass it the data, okay, and we can do user dot save function error and I guess a user, and we can do, if there's an error, we can go ahead and return with response dot status, 44, I guess, again, or maybe even a 500, and then we can send the error. Otherwise, we return with a response dot status of 201. We've created a resource, and we want to go ahead and send. The user. So let me get all of that together, and let's try this out. Go into iTerm, and let's build this out one more time. So we're going to do Rick and 35. Let's go ahead and send this. So it's sending. Looks like it did respond with this resource. Awesome. And we could actually, send it with message. You have created a resource. And we could also give it another value, which is just the user, Let's try this one more time. So we have Rick, maybe we have Robert. Let's send this. And so now we have message, you've created a resource, and a user with all the document information. So we need to build out a few more routes. We want to build out a delete route, and then finally we're going to build out a put request. So we're going to do router.delete from /users/id function request response next. And here what we can do is we're going to do model.remove, and the predicate here is going to be ID, where the ID is equal to request.params.id, and then function error and user. So say if there's an error, then just return error, or return response.status, maybe 500, and they'll send this error. Otherwise, return response.status with 200 and send message successfully deleted request.params.id. Alright, so let me close this off. Let's try and do a delete request now. So what I want to do is change this to delete, and I want to go ahead and grab this ID I have here for James. So API users. All right, I don't need any of that. And let's go ahead and send this request, and just to make sure, console log delete. Pull up my iTerm again. All right, and send this. See what we get. And delete. Message successfully deleted. Okay, so we should no longer see James at our endpoint. So let me make a GET request to users, and we'll send this. So Theo, Rick, and Robert. So similarly, if we delete Theo, okay, let's go back to delete, and let's run this query. All right, so we're deleting that resource, and let's run this. So there's no get, so we just have Rick and Robert. Cool. Our final route that we would like to implement for our RESTful API is going to be a put, so an update. So what we can do here is we can do router.put to /users/id function request and a response and a next. And inside of here, what we're going to do is we're going to do model.update, and it's going to be id is equal to request.params.id function error user. So we'll say if there's an error, then return response.status 44.send error, else model.update ID is equal to request.param, else we're going to return response.status of 200, and let's go ahead and send a message. Successfully updated the resource. Let me close these blocks off down here. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and try this out. What did I do wrong? Alright, I think that's why. Alright. So looks like we have most of our API built out. Let's go ahead and try this out though. So I'm going to get this. Let's see, who do we have in our Postman still? Let me see. So we've got Robert. Okay, and let's just change Robert's name to Rob. So let's change this to a put API users, and I'm going to change the body. I just want to change his name to Rob. Let's go ahead and send this, but I also want to make sure we're getting in here console.log in update, and let me get iTerm back up here. All right, so it's running. Let's try and send this. I'm going to click send. So in update, Mongo error after applying, ID was found to have been altered to ID. Okay. Let me look this up real quick. MongoDB update. Let's see what I was doing wrong. Let me see. 1 second. So to get collection ID. Set modify update set the update documents. Let's just see. All right. I think we might need the set. Yeah, let's just do it set. So the update, and then we also need to, yeah, so request.params.id, and then here we're going to do, here's going to be what we set, and we're going to update. So we're just going to say name is equal to request.body.name, age is going to be equal to request.body.age. All right, so let's try and run this one more time, and let's send here. So let's click send. Okay, it's sending. Cast number failed for value undefined path age. Okay, so we actually need age in here. We're going to keep this age at 24. Let's send this. Successfully updated the resource. So now if we go back into users and we change this to get, we now see Rob. Cool. So we've successfully built out our ExpressJS API. We've tested it with Postman. We've looked at it, looked at our resources in Mongo. So that's about it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any feedback, please let me know. Always appreciate the comments. And thanks, guys. And I'll see you in the next video. So take care.